You're watching VNews in English. I'm Vĩ Hằng from Hanoi, and now let's take a look at the headlines.
Minister of Education and Training joins Q&A session. United Nations official calls for calming of tensions in the sea. Vietnam and Poland promote economic links.
Minister of Education and Training Phạm Vũ Luận on June 11th clarified issues relating to education quality, particularly in tertiary education and vocational training, and plans for reforms.
Speaking at the National Assembly's Q&A section, Minister Luận also answered deputies' questions regarding the combination of education and training, the teaching of foreign languages, training in harmony with social demand, and the reformed examinations. Earlier on June 11th, Finance Minister Đinh Tiến Dũng continued answering queries on the ministry's implementation of public-private partnership projects. Health Minister Nguyễn Thị Kim Tiến also took part in the Q&A section to respond to deputies' questions relating to the setting and management of medicine prices. At the end of the Q&A section for the Finance Minister, National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng spoke highly of Dũng answers and the participation in the section of Health Minister Tiến, Minister of Industry and Trade Vũ Huy Hoàng, and Minister of Planning and Investment Bùi Quang Vinh. He asked the ministers to pay more attention to solving issues raised by deputies relating to public debts, state budget balance, and market stabilization.
President of the United Nations General Assembly's 60th session, John Ash, has voiced concern over the current issue situation following China's actions in Vietnam's waters. He made a statement when welcoming Ambassador Lê Hoài Trung, head of the Permanent Representative Mission of Vietnam to the UN on June 10. Trung came to share information about China's illegal placement of its oil rig deep inside Vietnam's continental shelf and exclusive economic zone. Ash showed his support for Vietnam's stance of solving the disputes peacefully based on the UN Charter and international law. The UN official suggested the parties involved should not conduct unilateral acts that can escalate the tensions. He affirmed his willingness to help the parties deal with the situation. At the meeting, Chung said that since the positioning of the rig in early May, China has used a fleet of vessels, including military ships and aircraft, to hinder Vietnam's law enforcement forces. The diplomat also confirms Vietnam has exercised utmost restraint and tried to handle the current situation via dialogue and other peaceful measures. In particular, it has abided by the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Chung also asked the UN and the international community to continue supporting Vietnam's goodwill demands. On June 11, the Vietnam Lawyers Association and the International Association of Democratic Lawyers held a press briefing on escalating violations in the EC. At the event, honorary presidents and former presidents of the International Association of Democratic Lawyers delivered a statement highlighting the situation in the EC. The statement said the association sent a letter to the Chinese authorities asking them to make it clear the legal foundation for its action in the EC. The association also requested China to respect international law and stop actions that complicated the situation. It calls on concerned parties to settle disputes peacefully and absolutely abide by the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, of which both China and Vietnam are members. As part of the latest developments in the EC, on June 11, as many as 35 Chinese fishing ships, hired by Coast Guard vessels, continued to aggressively encircle Vietnamese fishing boats when they were operating in their traditional fishing routes around the risk area. According to the Vietnam Fisheries Surveillance Department, China's ships even tried to make it look like they were run by Vietnamese boats by sailing past them and then suddenly reversing into them. Vietnamese ships persistently stayed at about 30 to 40 nautical miles from the rig to continue their normal activities in their fishing grounds, oppose the unacceptable acts of the Chinese ships, and request China to withdraw its rig from Vietnam's waters.
Attention! Attention! This is Vietnam Sea Patrol Force. This maritime area belongs to Vietnam's Special Economic Zone and continental shelf, according to Vietnam's Law of the Sea and the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. Your activities in this maritime area seriously breach Vietnam's sovereignty and jurisdiction rights of the sea, violate international law, particularly the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, and run against the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the sea. Cease immediately all your activities and leave Vietnamese waters.
Throughout the day, China maintains a presence of 39 Coast Guard vessels, 14 cargo ships, 20 tugboats and 6 warships organized in groups around the rig at distances of 7 to 8 and 9 to 11 nautical miles away. A Vietnamese diplomat has said Vietnam will continue in its efforts to protect and promote human rights in general and the rights to freedom of expression and association in particular.
Ambassador Phạm Quốc Trụ, deputy head of Vietnam's mission to the United Nations, made the remark at a dialogue with UN Special Rapporteurs on freedom of expression, peaceful assembly and association on June 10th, the first working days of the 26th section of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. She said Vietnam supports freedom of expression. He added that the country also shares many countries' concerns about the rise in actions that take advantage of the freedom to cause disturbance and sabotage national security, social order and public safety. Vietnam supports ensuring citizens' rights to expression. However, this is a sensitive issue in which the historical, cultural and religious characteristics of each society must be taken into account, he noted. High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillay highlighted achievements reaped by many countries in protecting and promoting human rights and their contributions to UN human rights mechanisms. She called for intensified cooperation across the globe to promote human rights for all, regardless of race, gender trends, religion or economic condition. The section, to run until June 27, will also discuss the rights of women and children, media freedom and poverty reduction.
A memorial to President Ho Chi Minh was inaugurated in Laos' central province of Savannakhet on June 11th.
The ceremony was jointly held by the Khai Son Phong Vi Hạnh Museum and the district authorities. Covering 1,000 square meters, the nearly $298,000 site aimed to commemorate President Ho Chi Minh's revolutionary activities in Laos between 1928 and 1929. Addressing the event, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Governor of Savannakhet, Suphan Khamisay, reviewed the great revolutionary career of the late president, who laid a solid foundation for the special ties between Vietnam and Laos. He also affirmed the new site will help deepen Laos people's understanding on the life of President Ho Chi Minh and his contributions to the revolutionary cause of the two countries.
General Director of the Vietnam News Agency, Nguyễn Đức Lợi, paid a working visit to Italy on June 9 to 10th. He attended an Asia-Europe workshop on strategies and policies to foster trade and economic cooperation between Italy and Asian countries. In his speech at the event, Lợi said that cooperation and connection is a key trend in the 21st century, and media cooperation plays an important role in boosting momentums for development and removing barriers in the Asia-Europe collaboration. On the current international cooperation and integration trend, Lợi said that Vietnam's news agency always wishes to further promote ties with other news agencies. Since it was established in 1945, the agency has signed cooperation agreements with and become partners of more than 40 news agencies around the world. In addition, the agency has actively joined major international press organizations in the region and the world, including the Organization of Asia-Pacific News Agency. It has performed its role as the national news agency in narrowing the gap of information among countries, as well as enhancing mutual understanding and sympathy, he stressed. Loy urged the news agencies to boost their cooperation so that the media can well perform its task of connecting the two continents, turning their differences into development opportunities, thus contributing to common peace, stability, and prosperity. A Vietnam-Poland Economic Forum was held in Hanoi on June 11th to further boost the economic trade relations between the two nations.
The event was co-organized by the Embassy of Poland in Hanoi and the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It took place during a visit to Vietnam by Polish Deputy Foreign Minister Katarzyna Karpichuk from June 10th to 14th. Addressing the forum, Katarzyna said that Polish firms are in Vietnam to not only expand trade ties with their local partners, but also to seek opportunities to invest in this market of 90 million people. She affirmed that Vietnam is an investment destination that Polish businesses are targeting. Vietnamese Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade Hồ Thị Kim Thoa suggested the two sides intensify their economic trade relations by opening up new cooperation opportunities. The official expressed her hope that the European country will invest in the processing of agricultural products and food.
Vietnam will prioritize the development of its processing, electronic, telecommunication, and renewable energy industries. This is part of a strategy on industrial development to 2025.
Under the strategy approved by the Prime Minister, the sectors will focus on applying advanced technology, churning out high-quality products of international standard, and joining the global value chain. More attention will be paid to ensuring energy efficiency, creating competitiveness in international integration, enhancing personnel competence, and staying proactive in the researching, designing, and production stages. Industrial production value is expected to record an annual growth of at least 12.5% by 2020. Industry and construction will account for 41% of the nation's economic structure, with more than 90% of products destined for foreign markets.
A national-level meeting will be held in Cao Lãnh City, the Mekong Delta province of Đồng Tháp, on June 15 in response to Asian Dengue Day.
The Health Ministry said on June 10th that about 5,200 people will take part in the event. They are the ministry's leaders, local people, and representatives from international organizations and consulates of ASEAN member countries in Vietnam. A 3-kilometer run will be organized after the meeting in order to raise public awareness of dengue prevention efforts. The ministry called on individuals to join hands in the fight against the disease by keeping their living environment clean and complying with hygiene regulations. According to the Preventive Health Department, so far this year, more than 10,200 dengue cases has been recorded in 42 provinces and cities. The disease has claimed 7 lives since the beginning of 2014. ASEAN and the World Health Organization has named June 15 as the ASEAN Dengue Day.
A traditional musical instrument festival is being held in Đà Lạt City, the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng. The event will run until June 15, providing visitors with 154 solo and concert performances. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Deputy Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Vương Duy Biên, said the festival is one of the important events celebrating the 2014 Central Highlands Đà Lạt National Tourism Year. Its main purpose is to preserve and promote traditional musical instruments, especially those of the richest ethnic groups. It also offers a chance for the resort city, built by the French in late 19th century, to introduce its image to both domestic and foreign tourists. The festival is being held by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, the Vietnam Musicians Association, and the Vietnam Association of Stage Artists. And that is the end of our program. Thanks for tuning in and see you around.